Okay, corporate identity, page 51. It says, corporate identity is the self-presentation of the organization through their behavior, through their communication, and through the use of symbols. Corporate identity is one of the more prominent aspects that many organizations consider when defining their relationships with their customers, their personnel, and other important stakeholders. The next paragraph says we can apply corporate identity through artifacts such as names, logos, graphics, colors, architecture. Okay, we often forget that. Architecture, what do we mean by that?
The way that a building is like, the way that the company has made their building.
Very good. The way the building is built. Have you, some of you have been to a varsity college maybe in Durban or Cape Town or a Crawford College. Okay, can you see how even the buildings relate? It's included, all the buildings are a certain color or there's certain shapes. All the McDonald's, all the KFCs have a very specific architecture. They talk about your slogans, your rituals, your social attitudes, presentation and promotional material. All of those aspects involve your corporate identity. Okay, I know you've done some of this in your corporate communication, and many of these elements we'll look at Learning Unit 3 when we talk about corporate culture, because we communicate culture. Okay, culture is in the way we communicate. They say corporate identity is planned and implemented by an organization for a variety of reasons. These include the organization's need to differentiate itself. Okay, to say, I'm a McDonald's, not a Wimpy, or I'm a Woolworths, not a Edgar's. Corporate identity is used to generate among staff a collective feeling of belonging, to strengthen links between the organization and its internal and external stakeholders. Then, if you go down, they say Van Riel identify three predominant approaches how we can apply corporate identity, and we identify it as uniformity, endorsement, or variety. Let's look at a few examples of corporate identity. We looked at Coke now. Are you familiar with this? Shell. Okay. Shell, if I'm right, is a Dutch company. Okay. Gas, oil, etc. What has Shell been in the news for very recently? They're still busy with? Oil spill? No. Fracking. What is fracking? And it's not a swear word.
Extraction.
It's the extraction of?
Oil.
Yes.
Oil.
Susanna?
Extraction of gas from the ground, basically.
Yes. It's taking gas out of the ground. And they have identified that in the Karoo, okay, in the middle of nowhere, there is a lot of gas under the ground. It's a process very popular in America. Okay, you can Google fracking. We'll do it in the second session. But coming back to corporate identity, architecture, name, colors, okay, logo, architecture, all of those elements, we can see this is not a BP or engine just by looking at the colors, the symbols, etc. Okay, but lately Shell has been presented as this. Okay, a lot of people are very unhappy about fracking. Okay, there's a process. It's a process of almost pushing water into the ground to loose the rock, okay, at a very high speed, and to then release the gas. In the Karoo, there isn't a lot of water. Okay, if you look at previous ways that fracking happened, especially in Americas, they extract the gas for a little while and then they leave that space almost desolated and everything else deteriorate. Okay, and many people are protesting against this, using gas masks, and this is a non-verbal way of communicating. Okay, protests, very visual. no fracking way. Go frack yourself. Okay? The Karoo's for sheep, not for shell. Okay, people are very verbal and very explicit about this. Okay, the Zapiro cartoon, that's the drill, the shell drill, and these are the animals, the farmers, the animals, the people that live there, holding up and say, frack off shell.
Land belongs to people. Do they not have to get rights to, just...
Yes, but there's a lot of money in it for those people when they can take that gas out. Okay, just last one, frack your shell. Okay. Okay. Can you see how strong public opinion is? Okay, and how they can use your corporate identity and they can change it very quickly, very negatively. Okay, and think of the other side. Say you were the corporate communication practitioner for Shell. How will you deal with this? Okay, look at what's happening at the mines in Marikana. Put yourself in the situation that you may be working for a company where you will be the internal, external communication professional. How will you deal with that situation? Okay, there's some more examples here. Toyota, I'm sure Jan showed you this. Toyota was perceived very negatively a while ago, and they were seen as this. Okay, why? They didn't communicate to their customers. They had to save money. They made certain alterations to their vehicles, and people died in car accidents. Okay, and they had to recall thousands of vehicles all over the world. BP coming back, yes, oil spill. Okay, BP stands for British Petroleum, British Petrol. Okay, corporate identity changed, and it was okay. Public opinion changed it. They put the logo with paint or whatever on it. Okay, and they call it British Polluters. Okay, not British Petroleum, and these people are trying to take it down. Why? Because it damages the identity. Think of Coke. How long Coke has built that identity. Okay, investing in it, trying to integrate it, and anything can happen that changes that identity around and into something very negatively very quickly.